Hello, everybody. This is Pamela getting on our Speak Up for Our Future video extension of my vlog channel. I hope you all have considered voting this week. I know over in my area, people have turned out in big numbers at the Franklin County Board of Elections. Get out there, vote, 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 do the right thing for this country. Can never stress that enough. I know we have been going through a lot of shit. Myself personally, yeah. My twin brother is recovering from COVID. He got it over a week ago, and he's slowly recovering back. Hopefully he'll be able to go back to work because his wife is now out of a job, and my older brother has no job except for a couple side jobs that he's doing to keep money flowing so he doesn't lose his house. But yeah, I've been going through a lot of shit here in my house. So yeah. That, and I'm trying to get through this thing that they call Halloween. I know that's a mere days away. But you know what? I'm not passing out no candy this year. Nope. In fact, I'm going to be a bitch and hog all the candy for myself. I got some Take Fives, some M&Ms, and some Hershey bars. And some Twizzlers, depending on what I'm hungry for. But yeah. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded much on this channel, but you all know Trump gets my dander up. And I hope he gets blown out by the election. I hope he does. We cannot take another 4 years of Trump's playing down of shit. Look at what's happened. Several thousand people are dead. You know, and I think about my brother and what could have been for him. You know, on a Friday, he said, man, I feel like absolute crap. I have a fever. I have joint pain. And his boss told him to go to get a COVID test. He went and got the COVID test, and he came back positive for it. And all he did was go from home to work, so I could only assume he got it from somebody at work. So, yeah. It has me scared because not only is my brother a COVID survivor as of now, he's also a cancer survivor. Been almost 3 years since he had his tumor removed from his kidney. So yeah, if you think that I'm worried for my brother, hell yeah. And I'm worried about my older brother who does jobs around the state with friends of his. And thank God he has friends that have to help him out. You know, he's doing odd jobs around Ohio, and then he's going down to some place in Virginia and work at a store putting equipment in. You know, it's like after everybody goes home and they sanitize everything, then the workers go in there and do their jobs and they clean up their shit. And you probably won't be home till 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. So yeah. But you know, you got to do what you got to do when you're running out of your what do you call it, unemployment? Yeah. So he's trying everything he can to keep his house in order and to help take care of me. So, yeah, it's been tough. But, you know, talking about this current administration that we are in, they have not really helped us in the sense because, you know, Trump has played down every fucking thing he's ever done for this country. And then he tries to pump himself up in the eyes of the black people. I've done more for the black community except for so-and-so, you know, and I'm tired of it. You know, and I hope people go out to the polls and do the right thing because I don't think we could take another 4 years of Trump. I'm being honest here. You might not like my honesty, but I don't give a damn. I only see what I see, you know. You go around my city of Columbus on the Far East Side, there is really no businesses to be had. More and more businesses have closed. Front Room Furnishings is gone. Macy's Furniture, where my brother worked, is gone. Eastland is going down the tubes. Let's see. Buybacks has shut its doors. buybacks like CD Warehouse used to be. You could take your CDs and your movies in, trade them, get a little bit of extra cash flow to keep you going until the next month. That place is gone. So there's really nothing here. And if you think I'm going up to Easton to do my shopping, you can forget it. I think a lot of it has to do with the COVID crisis. And I had a bad experience up there about a year or two ago, back in 2017. Some kid tried to rob me. I used to go up to Easton every year around Christmas time. And one day I went up and wanted to get a Santa suit for my little Teddy Ruxpin so I could have like a nice picture for Christmas. Because they had the Christmas Story preloaded on it, and I wanted to have a little Santa suit for him. And I had my purse on my control box. I use a power wheelchair so I can get around outside my house. Because I have arthritis in my elbow and in my other joints. And I go to get on the elevator going up to the movies. This kid comes up behind me. He couldn't have been older than maybe like 11 or 12. He said, "Hey, you're how old?" And I said, 40 something. And he says, "Well, you go, girl." And next thing you know, I get ready to get on the elevator. That son of a bitch took my purse right off my box control and ran into Forever 21, the big store right there at Easton. And I yelled in there, I said, "There's a kid in here that stole my purse." And they looked at me like I was crazy. But if it weren't for a man and members of his family seeing what was going on, I probably never would have got my shit back. He saw the kid get into a car and drive away. The guy looked around and found my jean purse on the ground with everything still in it. And the only thing missing out of all my stuff was my phone charging cord. I had just gone to the bank machine maybe not more than maybe a half an hour before to get $20 out so I could get some change to have money for the ride home. But fearing that I had lost all my stuff, there were two people that gave me $20 each. And the security guy was there. They took all our stories about what we witnessed. And he says, "I'll take you up to the movies." Because he accidentally tore my ticket going through all my stuff. He's like, "I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I'll get you up to the movies and make sure that you're taken care of." So he walks me up there, and by that time, my will to go see Bad Moms 2, that went out the window. So I drank a sangria, tried to sit through at least a half an hour of the movie, and I couldn't do it. I'm thinking to myself, I should just get the hell out of here and wait to go home. And I never bothered to ask for my money back. I was in such a fucked up mode. I didn't know what the hell I was thinking. I was like, I just want to get out of here and go home. I might consider not coming back. So the cop gets me up there. When we get up there, he says, "Is there anything else you want me to do before I go downstairs?" And I said, "No." And he says, "How does this make you feel?" And I said, "Well, if I had my chance with that young man again, it wouldn't be nice. He would have to put me in jail." He's like, "Huh?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I would probably either beat the crap out of him or run him over with my wheelchair." And he said to me on 1-to-1, he says, "I don't blame you if you did." And there's a couple ladies out there that work at the information booth that know me. And I often go to the movies or to Build-A-Bear or to Barnes & Noble to get a book or a DVD or even a record for that matter. And I just spent most of that day pretty hosed. I was like, I got the phone that I had with me out of the charging station because stupid me that morning forgot to charge my phone. Call it a lucky break, right? And I call my brother and he says, "You don't sound so good." This is my older brother I'm talking to. And I said, "John, I'm calling you to let you know what happened to me today." And I said, I nearly get robbed by a piece of shit black kid. And he's like, what? He says, did they take anything? And I said, no. Thank God, because all I had in there, I had $20, my checkbook. He didn't take none of that. But he had the nerve to take the purse right off my box control, wrapped around my fucking box control, and run to a store where everybody looked at me crazy. Then when they found my purse and made sure I had everything, and he says, but I lost my cord. And he says, well, don't worry about that. He says, I got an old one you can use until you get a new phone. And I was like, thanks, dude. I should be home soon. So I spent maybe 45 minutes just walking around, kind of in a daze. And then the people at the security desk, they asked me, Pam, are you okay? And I said, no. I said, I just want to go home, but I'm not due to go home till about 7:30. You mind if I wait here for a little while? And they're like, no. And one of the ladies that worked there said, I saw what went down. And she goes, I let the swear words fly that day, I let the swear words fly, and we still talk about it. I can't believe that they didn't have no security camera that could possibly help you. I said, well, there was one on the elevator, but I was only half in and half out, so that didn't really help me. But I said, trust me, if I ever locked eyes with that little SOB, he and I would have words. I would either have words with him or he would be in the hospital. They would have to put me in jail. And I cried the rest of that time I was there. I couldn't believe that somebody that had no parents around, the kid couldn't have been older than maybe 12 years old, had no parents, was out looking to steal something from the lowest common denominator. Me, I'm the lowest common denominator there is. And on my old channel, I came home and talked about it, and I wanted to use the N-word so bad, but they're so tight-lipped on this platform, I couldn't do it. But I called him a motherfucker. And that kid today is still a motherfucker. Because if I found out my kid was doing shit like that, he would be doing hard time and time out. A good couple swats on the butt, and his ass would be in purgatory. You're at home, buddy. You're not going anywhere. Give up your phone. Give up everything you love. Give up your video games. You're not getting nothing. You steal from a disabled person? Where the fuck do you get off with that? But I basically closed myself off from the world this past year, with Trump and his bullshit. I've done more for the black community other than Abraham Lincoln. Bullshit. We need to do the right thing for this country. I don't like being at home. I wish I had a steady 9-to-5 job, but in my city, they're hard to come by. Even my own brother, my brother John, that lost his job at Macy's Furniture, couldn't even get on at Amazon. They probably think he's too old. And you want to know how many years my brother gave to that company? 35 years. At first they told him, we're going to absorb you into Macy's, the company. And then not long after that, I couldn't tell you how long after that, but it wasn't long. They said, well, you don't have a job anymore, but you can come back to sell off the inventory, but you have to give up your severance pay. And my brother's like, what? What the fuck? He says, you think I'm going to give up my severance pay? You got another thing coming. I put 35 years into my company. And this is how you're going to do me? He says, I earned that severance. He's like, screw you. I'm out of here. And then my sister-in-law came over, about a month ago, actually. And they were looking for something in the house here, and she found one of my old Scooby-Doo fleece blankets that was pretty ragged and torn, but she wanted it, and she offered to give me money for it. I said, no. I said, you could have it, but you're not going to give me money for it. And she goes, well, why? And I said, because we're family, that's why. families don't charge others family, money for family. So you could have the blanket, you could wash it, you can use it to sleep with, you can give it to the dogs. I don't care because they have two dogs. Then she told me as they were leaving, I was furloughed from my job and then they let me go. So when my brother got COVID here over a week and a half ago, I was like, oh, wow. And who knows what would have happened if my brother Jerry had died from the COVID virus. Luckily, he is recovering, but he had a real rough time of it come on a Friday. He says, man, I feel like absolute shit. My joints hurt. I got a fever. And his boss told him, you need to go over to the doctors or over to the hospital and get a COVID test. He went over there, got a test right away, and within a day or two, they found out he had tested positive. And he's isolated in his house until at least this coming Friday. So, yeah. So it's frightening. Believe me, I know. But then there are people that don't follow social distancing guidelines. But then there are some that do, and they still get it. I call it a freak thing that happened to my brother. I don't want him to die. He's a good kid. I don't see him much because he's often working or busy with 10 grandkids that he kind of married into. And you got 2 big girl pit bulls. I'm like, no. I said, I'll come over when you guys are there, but if I had to come over and be by myself, I wouldn't do it because I know your dogs, they're big, they're strong. If they sit on me, they'll flatten me like a pancake. And you know how afraid I am of pets. I'm sorry, but I am scared of them. But he's getting through it like I'm trying to get through this. And I know by next month on the 3rd, voting day, that I have to go to the doctors and get my annual checkup. But COVID numbers are going up again here, people. Well, what can we do? Are you going to follow the example that Trump had set in the beginning? I don't think so. Because when your doctor's offices and your hospitals are talking about COVID-19 and how dangerous it is, back in February, I knew it was time to take stock of the situation, go home, stay in, especially if you have your immune system is not up to snuff, or if you have a physical or emotional limits. Don't go out if you don't have to. And I've been home basically since February. I went out for my doctor's appointments only. And I went out for my flu shot at my local Kroger. That was very frightening because I could go, it's like a regular grocery trip. You could go in. I had to check out the new Kroger and see what it was like and go and get my flu shot and wait the customary 20 minutes to a half an hour to see if I was having a reaction to the shot. So I went in, filled out my papers to get my shot, and gave them my medical stuff, and they gave me the shot, and I went and got my groceries, and waiting to go home. That was interesting because I got my groceries, and whenever I could carry on my small chair and my lap, I could get my groceries and wait to go home. And if the bus ran a little late, I got antsy. So I didn't know whether it was traffic or whether he was just being slow. And that's something I have to learn how to get used to. If they run a little late, you have to wait. And, I masked up every time I go out. I go to my podiatrist and get my nails clipped. I get in, get right out, get my butt on the bus in about an hour, and then I go home. So, yeah. I don't feel safe enough to go to a mall and watch a movie. I mean, I still have my gift cards for AMC from last Christmas. Just before COVID hit full force. I still have my gift cards from AMC. So I don't know when or if I'm going to go back to a theater. So, yeah. Call me a hypochondriac, but I'm not willing to play with my health. My sister, she works partially from home. She has 2 computers set up in her little dining room, doing her stuff from her insurance job. And sometimes she'd have to go in and do some stuff in at the office, but when she goes out, she masks up. It's serious. And I miss going out to dinner every week to visit with my sister and hang out with my brother in law and have a good steak or a good piece of fish. You know, I just miss those things, and I don't know if we'll ever get back to normal. But I've been dealing with a lot for the last 7+ months. So, yeah. I'm just hoping my older brother, John, doesn't get COVID-19 because he's supposed to go up to one place here in Ohio and then down to Virginia to do a store tonight. So he probably won't be home until at least tomorrow morning. So, yeah. So he came over today, picked up my sertraline, which is nerve pills for depression, and he got my groceries, and he got me some candy for Halloween, so, and some extra things of toilet paper. So he got me like a small little package of toilet paper, so I'm not no toilet paper hoarder. Just wants to make sure I'm all stocked up so I'd have plenty of food in case he can't get over here. So I have a good brother. And I have a good sister. So I try not to call her because she's got her own hands full. Not just with her job, but she's got a child with autism. And she's got a husband that works in helping build buildings. He actually dabbles in putting glass in certain businesses, like hospitals and your arenas and whatnot. So, yeah. When I found out my brother Jerry had COVID, we also found out that my brother-in-law and his mother may have also contracted the virus. And I don't think that his mother or her own son had the virus. But I tell you, it got pretty scary here over the last week or so. So, yeah. So I'm just trying to hold on to my own ass and hope that it doesn't wipe out all of humanity. But the recent downplay of this virus, it's sad. It really is. Especially on Trump's ass. And now they're waving the fucking white flag, saying we're not going to control the virus. You know what, Pence? Fuck you. Fuck all you GOP assholes. You may want to play with you might want to play with our lives, but I don't. Stop fucking around with our lives, asshole. But anyway, I'm going to close this video out. I got to go over to my main channel and check in. My other channel isn't doing half as well as this one. I've been thinking about plugging that one up and coming over to here full time, but I don't know. Because I don't think my words are really helping anyone. They think I'm a stupid sheep for not following Trump's example. And you know what? I don't want to follow his dumbass example. Because half of Pence's people are sick. He had COVID. And yet he's too stupid to realize that you have to social distance in order to prevent it. And wear a mask. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. And people like Michael Keaton, the actor, are supporting Joe Biden. And let's see, who else? The guy from that sang Living on a Prayer is also supporting Biden. And a lot of stars do not want Trump using their music. And I stand with them. Even the guy from Creedence Clearwater Revival has sent a cease and desist letter to Trump. And you could watch both of them side by side. You could watch one commercial or one ad, and it's a stark difference between the two. You got Trump that acts like an immature child, casting blame on others when he himself is the cause of the problem. He calls it the China virus. Okay, he calls it the China virus. But what are you going to do to help combat this? Oh, I'm going to play it down. I love playing it down, he says. And they caught him on tape. You can't fake that. And a lot of people that we know and love are dying from it. Family members, friends, some in the famous community. The guy that played Lutz the Putz in Beverly Hills Cop 2 died from it. A Broadway star died from it. And my own brother could have bought the farm from this damn thing, and I'm worried. I think our way of life has changed, if not for a while, maybe forever. Can we really trust our leader that's in office now? Me, no. I don't trust him any further than I could possibly throw him. Him and his Barbie doll bitch, fuck no. Their playing down is what got people killed. And that's just the way I'm going to end the video. His playing down got people killed. Period. End of story. If he had got on it and did something about it in the beginning, maybe we wouldn't be where we were. And if he had followed social distancing guidelines, people would say, Mr. President is taking this seriously. Maybe we should too. But you know what? I do it not just for myself, but I do it for you. I do it for my family. And I have a niece who has autism. So if she gets sick, she can't tell her mom what's wrong. And let me give you an example of that. Okay, when she was younger and going through school, she was in class and some kid pushed her down on the floor and she could not get up and she couldn't tell the teacher what was wrong. So they called her mom, which is my sister. And they said, well, you may need to take her to one of the outpatient clinics to get her checked out. And they did several x-rays on the poor kid. And her mom was trying to console her, but every time she would try to stand on her leg, the spot in her hip would hurt. And they found out finally, after so many tests and x-rays, that she had a hairline fracture in her hip. And my sister's like, oh, great. I'm going to have to get a wheelchair. I'm going to have to do this and do that. And I said, no, you won't. I said, you could borrow my old manual wheelchair. You could load her up in that and send her to school, and she could use it as long as she needs. You could take her to the damn zoo. I don't care. As long as you keep tires in it and things tightened up on it, you could have the wheelchair. She's like, really? And my brother brought out the chair, dusted it off, filled the tires, and gave it to my sister. Of course, she returned my chair. But that's what family does. They look out for each other. And I'm just hoping my older brother don't get sick from this crap. Because he knows what we are going through is the most serious that we've ever seen in our lifetimes. So I'm going to ask you guys to do me a favor. Call your families, FaceTime with them, keep your masks on, keep clean, social distance. If you must go out and do things that you need to do, wear your mask, keep clean, and social distance. That's all I'm telling you. I'm telling you because I care. And as to Trump, I won't be happy until he's out of office. In fact, I won't be happy until he's off this planet. And that's just how I feel. I don't support a narcissist. I don't support somebody who cuddles up with our enemies and thinking that everything's going to be okay. We are facing a pandemic, massive fires in the West, massive hurricanes. And in fact, there's another one going down toward Louisiana, heading up that way tonight. So, yeah, my thoughts go out to all them people. And then the ice storm that's hitting parts of Texas and Oklahoma. In fact, they showed one guy on camera nearly getting smushed by a tree limb coming down on his back deck. So, yeah, I think we're in for a hell of a winter this year. Take care of yourselves, and I'll get back on here in a couple of days. I'll be doing a lot more updates on here from now on. Good night. Stay warm and stay safe over the Halloween weekend. If you're taking your kids out to trick or treat, practice your distancing and stay safe. And x-ray your candy before your kids eat it. All right. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.